Hi, thank you for waiting.
We're good.
How are you?
Looking out.
We're gonna go this way.
Great.
We have all your prescriptions. I know you didn't come grab them from Venus. Are you doing okay?
Well, whatchamacallit, I need to get another Adderall one. So
Yes, we have that ready for you.
so basically,
Oh, yeah, let's wait. While we're walking in, I'll ask, is California still
right here.
is still the
Oh
plan?
yeah, of course.
That's soon.
I'm technically on parole for 16 more days.
It's June 8th, right?
I've technically done the first, but my meeting's not till the 8th, so which is exciting.
That's important. That's an important distinction. Once outcome project.
So 23 days.
Come have a seat.
Nice.
My colleague, the fellow that I'm working with, is just signaled to me, so I want to make sure she's okay.
Okay.
I'll be right back in. This will not be a long wait, I promise.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Oh.
Hello. So 23 days.
23 days, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And then to California.
To visit my mother, and then after a few weeks of that, to California.
And where's your mom again? Pennsylvania? Delaware. Okay, we're in Delaware.
I don't
I grew
know.
up in DC.
So like just.
When was the last time you saw her?
Probably been about a year.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Everything's all happening at once.
Okay.
So I noticed, because I know
they never filled the pain medication that you sent over, the oxycodone.
did you try to go again?
I went. I've gone once every week, and
they didn't fill it.
They never filled it. It was
so not since March, even though I've written it for you.
You sent it over to the CVS pharmacy. So the first time I went, they didn't have it. The second time I went, they were waiting on something for you, and then the third time was like a kind of combination of excuses, and then I basically went like once a week, and then the fourth time was sort of the same. They just basically never filled it.
That sucks. Okay, let me refill it. I'll send it over right now.
Okay.
It's been approved. Like the authorization is approved.
Sounds good.
And I'll call them because I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I went once a week just to check on it.
When was the last time you went?
Probably sometime last week.
Okay, that's so frustrating.
Yeah. It's.
So do you want me to send it to the same CVS?
I mean, sure.
Okay.
You know, I don't.
Okay.
You know, it yeah, whatever.
I just have to take my phone out because I have to approve it. And then the Adderall. We have the old one. I'll just print you a new one.
Yeah, that'd be great. So basically, what happened was the first time you prescribed it, it took me 13 days to get it filled. I had to go to 17 different
Yeah, you told
pharmacies.
me.
And so it didn't get filled to the 23rd. And then the next time I filled it, it didn't get filled to the 26th. And this expires on the 25th. So essentially,
Perfect. I'll just.
yeah. And then I also need one for famotidine.
The prescription?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you have reflux?
Well, I've been taking it the whole time. Yeah, I have that. They just it was that guy doctor that I saw that one time.
Oh, like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, so he sent it over, and apparently the refills weren't covered by Medicaid since he was not a Medicaid certified doctor.
Oh, God.
So
You're really like standing full force in front of a fire with the dysfunction of our healthcare system.
So yeah, so I went to pick that up, and they were just like, "We can't." And I was just like, "Okay, so I'll just get a new prescription." And could you also give me one for Propecia, because so basically the last time I went to get Propecia refilled, you know, they give you like the little prescription slip or whatever. I was like, well, it says I have 3 refills, and they're like, well, that doesn't matter. And I was like, why give me this slip that says that I have refills if it doesn't matter?
That's so weird.
So then they said they had to call you. So then apparently they called you or somebody here, and then 2 days later they filled it.
Yeah.
But if you could print me out another prescription for Propecia, that would be great too.
Great.
I've just sort of come to realize that sending things over electronically is.
But let us, if this stuff is happening, definitely let us know, because a lot of times we have no idea. The farm, like I'm not blaming. A lot of times the systems that are in place to like notify the physician, it never gets to us. So if that's happening, like text Venus and be like, we're having, just because otherwise we can't assume.
Yeah, I mean, it was always framed as it was like a you problem, not a me problem. You know what I mean? Like they were just waiting on you, just this and that. And I was just like, you know, in that sort of scenario, there's not really much you can do but take Advil. So
for the Propecia or no?
Oh no! It's like since they didn't have any pain medication, you know.
Let me give you 90 days of Propecia.
That'd be great.
And I'm giving you 90 days of famotidine.
Great.
And then
Adderall.
Adderall's done. I have to go get it from another room where it printed.
Great.
Oxy's in.
Great.
I'll call them. Did you end up taking any of the doxycycline?
Oh yeah. So I've been taking that, and like I mean, you can see, you know, my great Russian skin. Does
it look better?
I can't tell.
I think so here's what I think.
Yeah.
And this is not me hoping that the medication's working. It looks there are fewer discrete bumps.
Yeah.
So
I think it's working.
I think it's working too.
I think it's just that I've had it for so long, and then I was stuck upstate in like Siberia, so it was so cold, and that sort of affected my skin. So what I read online was that a lot of people they take that medication and they also use a face wash at the same time. So could you prescribe me a face wash too?
Yeah, I'm happy to do both. Usually it's sequential just to like protect your face. I'm happy to do both.
Yeah.
And you should also be on once a day now.
I am taking it once a day. Okay. So
but yeah, let's do the face wash.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like no, I have to put a lot of sunscreen on because I'm taking this medication, which of course clogs the pores. So you know, it's
what sunscreen are you using?
Banana boat.
So don't use that.
Don't use it
on your face.
Okay.
That's like a body sunscreen.
Okay.
I would use. Does it say for face?
It just says sunscreen. Okay.
I would say anything that says for face,
like a Neutrogena or something like that.
Neutrogena is great. Okay. Anything that's 30 face, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Because that will like clog. I'm like my pores are clogged just hearing about
that. It's exciting. I was just like, well, it doesn't make a lot of sense to take this medication to clear your skin, and then I'm clogging my pores with like tons of sunscreen. It actually looks
a little better.
It has cleared up a bit. I have a feeling that it's sort of going to take a little bit of time. You know.
It is going to take time.
So.
And then let me get you. I'm just looking up the actual.
With that face wash.
I think it's the azelaic acid, but I will send it to you. No, we don't want that.
If you could print it out, that'd be great.
Yes, I will need to look into the formulation, but I think that's it. And have you used a face wash before?
I have, yeah. I went to a dermatologist here in the city. I think it's called Tribeca Dermatology or something like that. And they had prescribed it there.
Right, and you're not using any anything exfoliating, nothing like that.
No,
okay.
no.
Okay. I will send that to you as well. And then let's see. I know pain management had called. I know the orthopedic people had reached out again.
So the orthopedic people called for me to schedule an appointment like this. I think we went over this last time.
Yeah.
And so
I saw one on the 2nd, right?
Well, last time I was here, I went downstairs. I think you sent me to maybe the first floor or whatever to schedule an appointment. And I got all the way up there, which took a little while. And I was like, so I'm here to schedule an appointment. They're like, well, you don't get to pick the time. We pick the time for you. And I was like, then why call me to schedule an appointment?
Yeah, I know.
So they picked...
the 2nd, right?
They picked 8 a.m., but my curfew at the shelter is 7 a.m., and it takes me an hour and a half to get here.
Right.
So obviously, I couldn't make it here. So as soon as they put it in, I just canceled it because I wasn't able to make it here that time.
So I think I'd seen that, and I was like, yes. And then
it was.
But I was like, no.
It was. It was 8 a.m. and then they sent me a letter and it said, "Please arrive a half hour early." And I was like, "Well, it takes me an hour and a half to get there, and I can't leave until 7:30."
Right, because you're in the Bronx now.
Yeah. So I will call them both this week and pain management and see if I can get in. I looked at the results for the MRI, which basically just, I mean, they should just paraphrase it at the top that says your back's fucked. But like,
and it is, and the takeaway that I had from it is, if you have questions about it, I'm happy to talk about it. But the takeaway is that like, there's nothing bad on the cord, like nothing scary and bad, which is good. And then your bones are not great. Like it was
just like every disc was like, you know, there wasn't one that seemed to be like, there was like one was slipped and then one had like like a lack of tissue. So it's it is what it is. I guess when I see the pain specialist, it's sort of just like, so is this a physical therapy thing with acupuncture, or is it just sort of like?
So these are actually anesthesiologists who are trained in pain control.
Yeah.
So what they're looking at is actually, are there interventions they can do, like specific locations where they can inject medication or like do ablation or something like that to help with the pain.
That's sort of what I figured. So it's like it is what it is. I guess it's just figuring out how to get better and deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like, you know, I've been dealing with it my whole life. It's just like I said, every time there's been like an inflammation, I've been able to treat it, but then all of a sudden you're like in some like super shitty jail. Totally. I can't do it.
And the other thing I'll do, and like, I know you're leaving, and I think I would love to give you a physical therapy referral if you want one. I'm a big believer. We don't have physical therapy here.
It's fine. Well, let's.
Or do you want to wait until we?
Let's schedule another appointment for next month. And then we can, because then I'll be able to, we'll kind of go over everything.
Yeah.
Where I'm going, or who the doctor's going to be, and where we can like send things.
And I'll probably at that time give you prescriptions and like a letter, like a printout letter that you can give to someone with all your
all the stuff on it. Yeah. And I'll probably have to have my like medical records and stuff sent over too. When would you like to do our next appointment?
I was thinking June 12th.
Sounds good.
That sound good?
Yeah. Let
me go put this in the bin and get your other prescription.
Great. If you could print all of those out, like if I.
So the Oxy I e-prescribed.
You've sent over. Yeah.
I sent over. Everything else I've sent over.
Except the Adderall.
Except the Adderall.
That's fine.
Is that okay? And then let me do the face wash.
Nice.
That makes me feel like a real doctor when I can use a paper prescription.
Well, it's the. Like I said, it took me 17 pharmacies the first time, and the next time I got it filled, it took me 15.
Really wild, and I'm so sorry. I'm like grateful, frankly, that you're doing that, but it's just.
You know, luckily it's New York City, and there's like 4 pharmacies on every block.
I know. I was thinking of you because I have another patient on Adderall, and we're going through the same thing, and she found. Because I was like, oh, at least we're in a big city, but she lives in a small town. Her parents are from a small town in another state, and like they happen to have we lucked out, so she brought a prescription with her to another state, and we found it that way.
You really don't realize like how many there's so like especially like right here, there's like it's just like clusters.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Many.
And then you go, the first time I got it filled, I just figured I'd go over by NYU, that would be like the smart bet. And that's the first place I got it filled. And then I just went back the next time. I was like, well, I got it filled there at that time. And I went back and they didn't have it. And I ended up getting it filled like on Park Ave. Did you ever go to that Duane Reade that's on like 3rd and maybe like 58th or 2nd, 58th? It's like the biggest pharmacy I've ever seen in my entire life.
Great.
It looks like a mega pharmacy.
That's amazing.
There are like 30 people in there. It's got these huge vaulted ceilings. It's crazy.
So the thing I'm going to give you, is it like in an old bank?
No, it's like, it's really unassuming. You sort of like walk in and then you walk through this Duane Reade and you get like the floor slopes down to make it even bigger. And you get back there and there were just so many people running around. I was like, this is the biggest pharmacy I've ever seen in New York.
So the thing that I have, so the face, it's the foam that you should be using. It's not a wash, but it's like a foam that you put on.
Okay.
It's the azelaic acid.
Okay.
Just like all the other things, be careful with the sun, which you're already doing.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's summer,
Yeah,
so
as long as you're the hat and like face sunscreen and just, I know this sounds silly, but like reapply sunscreen. So like bring it with you.
Oh yeah, I definitely do that. The whatchamacallit, I've been on Propecia for so long, over a decade, maybe even longer than that. And my doctor said if you ever stop taking it, you'll start losing your hair. And so I couldn't take it when I was in jail.
Right.
And so the hair up top's gotten a little thinner. And so the first day I actually got a little bit of a feeling on the top of my head.
Yeah, you're like, oh no.
I was like, that sucks. So I got a hat. I'll probably have to have a hair transplant at some point in time.
Let's see, the foam. Just gonna make sure I'm telling you to use it the right amount a day.
I also read that people were doing like using Rogaine and Propecia at the same time.
I am personally not familiar with that, but that may be true.
And Rogaine's like just over the counter now, right? I also Googled Elon Musk hair transplant. Have you ever seen those photos?
I have. It's very remarkable.
It's crazy, right? It's like, dude was bald and then he has like this huge head of like 50s greaser hair now.
Yeah, it's like kind of impressive. But I'm also like, what happened here? And what are you washing your face with?
Just soap.
Okay. What kind of soap?
Just Dove.
Okay. If possible.
Yeah.
And again, like
use like a Neutrogena or something like that.
Or like a Cetaphil.
Okay.
So something a little more gentle than a Dove.
Yeah.
If you can't, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the foam, I would say it's probably best to use at night when you know you can like sleep.
Yeah.
You probably used it before.
Yeah.
That will be an ongoing med.
Yeah.
And that'll probably just be once the doxy's done. Usually you're just on the foam.
Cool.
There's other stuff too. There's like topical antifungals and stuff like that.
The doxycycline or whatever. I mean, I just like I can tell that it's like clearing up a bit. It just seems like it's gonna be a couple months.
It is, and that's why you're on it for so long. And then it's basically like reducing the inflammation enough to stop more from forming.
Yeah. And
then your skin still has to like
get back.
Regenerate.
Yeah. It's a really interesting process. It's the perks of being like Russian, Irish, and Norwegian, like basically just like the whitest dude in the world.
It's a lot of sensitive skin.
Yes, it's really insane. It's like, is it like? Yeah, I mean it's just.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I have some Irish in me, and even that. I go through immediate burn when I'm in the sun.
Yeah, it always takes it like a couple weeks in the summer. You know what I mean? To like going out gradually and then sort of like building it up. It's like
it's rough. But I'm glad you have a hat.
Yeah, the hat's great.
And is this a new cape?
This is, yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's I think you prescribed me one, and it was the same thing where I went to the pharmacy, and it was just like this absolute nightmare, and I was just like. I just went on to Amazon and just like ordered one.
It's probably cheaper. But this is, I see you stand with it. Does it feel like the right height for you?
Yeah, it's the right height.
Good.
And it's like.
I like that handle.
It's got a comfortable grip.
Good wide base. That's great.
And
you seem like you're walking well with it.
Yeah, it's great. It like folds up too. So it's
even better.
Super convenient. It's just like, when you get on the train and you have a cane, it's sort of like a really big pain in the ass. So if you can like fold it up just for the train ride and then like
it's a great idea.
But it's that's been a whole thing,
That's good. And then let me go get your prescriptions.
Good. Oh, what time on the 12th are we doing? Sorry.
Let me. I think the only time I actually have booked is 1:20, so we could do 1:40. We could do 2. We could do 2:20.
Let's do 2 p.m. again if that's okay.
Let's do it, and hopefully, I don't want to say, but hopefully the 12th won't be like today, where everybody came at the same time. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's it's
I know, but you're traveling from far, and you're,
Yeah.
I want to respect your time. So thank you for your patience. So we'll do 6. I'm just gonna write this down before it leaves my mind. 2 p.m.
Yep.
Or revisit. Fantastic. And then let me go track down your paper prescriptions and sign them.
Great.
And then I'll be back.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So if they don't have the prescriptions, can I just like text Venus or like?
Text Venus, yeah. Please text her.
Okay.
Because and that's no disrespect. Pharmacies are overwhelmed, so I have a lot of respect for pharmacy colleagues, but sometimes we all rely on systems that don't actually work to notify each other about stuff. So just let us know if they're telling you.
Yeah, I mean, it was just every time. It's just like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's just like it's happened almost every single time I've gone to the pharmacist. So I was just like, there's just nothing I can do about this.
But yeah, please, it's not bothering. Like, we want to know.
Okay, cool.
Because then we can do stuff about it.
Great.
Okay, I'll be back.
Sounds good. Thank you. Oh. Oh, great.
Or do you want me to rip off? Do you want me to rip off the white part? I don't really.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Put it in an envelope.
Not a completely unrelated question, but I noticed that like Amazon was starting to do like crazy like mail order prescription drug thing. Is that like catching on or like not really?
Not really.
Yeah.
The best one is the Mark Cuban one.
Oh, which one was that?
Cost Plus Drugs.
Oh, I think I might have saw that.
It's great.
Did you see the Amazon one though, where they would take your medications, and if you were taking multiple medications in a day, they would put them all into one pill for you?
That chemically, I don't think exists. For some stuff it does. Yeah. That's wild.
That's what I thought. I was like, that's pretty crazy.
I left these on just so they're,
great.
I don't know, not so vulnerable.
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll make the appointment for you. You do not have to, it'll show up on your chart, so unless you need paperwork for your PO or something like that, you can feel free to leave.
Great, yeah, that's perfect.
You don't have to wait around.
Yeah.
And then, yes, text Venus if there are med issues.
Cool.
I'll call the pharmacy in advance as well.
I mean,
There will be med issues. Text Venus when there are med issues.
it has literally been every single time. It's just like this last summer, and I just didn't know what to do anymore.
So just always reach out to us. That's
Okay.
what we're here for.
It's been exciting, and next time I see you'll be done with all this crap.
I know. And you seem like
Happy?
yeah.
Yes, very happy.
Good.
Yes.
That's a real light at the end of the serious tunnel.
I'm just super stoked. I couldn't be any happier.
I'm very excited for you.
I'm too. It's
Just
just
count it down,
it's
which I know you are.
yep, 23 days.
So yes, please text us if there are issues. I'll call the pharmacy
That's
too,
good.
okay?
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you.
Take care. Excuse me.
Make you want to go in the right?